Picture waking up each morning with an invincible sense of calm, a serene core that no crisis or conflict can unsettle. Imagine navigating through arguments, disappointments, or even tragedies without losing your composure. It sounds like a fairy tale, right? Yet real, unshakable peace doesn't come from controlling every external event in your life. It comes from reining in the turbulence within. Most of us have been taught that peace depends on something out there falling into place. A certain job, a perfect relationship, a stress-free environment. But what if you've had it reversed all along? What if everything you've been chasing on the outside was already available to you on the inside? Maybe you've tried to coax peace out of achievements, accumulating success in the hope that you'd finally feel at ease. Or you've rearranged friendships, gone on retreats, or spent money you didn't have, all in pursuit of that elusive calm. Yet the same restlessness follows you from one city to another, from one accomplishment to the next. Deep down, you suspect the real war isn't with the world. It's an internal battle against your own unexamined thoughts and spiraling emotions. Let's be honest, you're not as serene as you pretend to be. In your quiet moments, you feel a swirl of anxiety, resentment, or dissatisfaction. You suspect there's a hidden cost to faking tranquility day after day, maybe an unnamed emptiness, or the constant fear that someone or something will topple your delicate balance. Here's the truth. Inner peace isn't reserved for gurus or monks. It's our default state, masked by the mental clutter we unwittingly carry. Consider a simple fact. Two people can witness the exact same event, maybe a job loss or a sudden change in plans, and walk away feeling completely different emotions. Why? Because it's not the situation that dictates our feelings, it's our interpretation. Your mind acts like a projector, casting its beliefs, fears, and assumptions onto reality. The source of your chaos is rarely the external world, it's the internal lens through which you view it. Carl Jung famously said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." Translation? You're trapped in old habits and reflexive emotional reactions that aren't even yours. They've been handed down by parents, teachers, or a fearful younger self. When fear, anger, or sadness surge forth before you've had a chance to think, that's not your adult wisdom speaking. It's the childhood conditioning lodged in your psyche. The result is a life lived on autopilot, missing the chance for real emotional freedom. Most people never question the swirl of negativity or anxiety that frames their day. They think life is just that way. A looming deadline triggers panic. A slight from a friend sparks disproportionate rage. You brush these reactions off as normal, and so the lie persists, that peace is some distant, unattainable dream. But peace doesn't come from external events being flawlessly in your favor. It emerges when you regain control of how you interpret those events. Think of your mind as a roaring river. You can't stop its current. Rivers flow whether you want them to or not. But you can choose to step out of the flood instead of being swept away. You can be the observer on the riverbank, watching thoughts rush past without letting them define your identity. The problem is, you've forgotten you're the one standing on the shore. You've confused yourself with the water. The moment you realize you are not the racing current, that you stand apart with the power to watch or step away, you've taken the first step toward emotional liberation. We resist emotions like anger or sadness, believing that fighting them makes them disappear. Ironically, resistance only feeds their power. The more you fight, the more these emotions take root. By accepting them, allowing them to exist without letting them overtake you, you deprive them of their hold. You shift from being the person drowning in emotion to the awareness noticing that emotion. That's the beginning of mastery. This perspective echoes the Stoics, who insisted that it's not what happens to you, but how you respond that matters. The moment you understand your emotional reactivity is optional, not automatic, You unlock a freedom that external turmoil can't shake. Nobody, no event, no crisis can tear away your peace if you own your reactions. Let's be real. The modern world is designed to keep you off balance. Smartphones, endless news cycles, social feeds that jangle your nerves. Even deeper, there's a fear of silence or introspection. We fill every moment with noise, drowning out any chance for self-awareness. Why? Because meeting yourself in quiet can be terrifying. You'd have to face regrets, unprocessed grief, or the insecurities you usually bury beneath perpetual busyness. But ironically, the silence you fear is also your path to real peace. Sitting with yourself, even when it's uncomfortable, lets the mental dust settle. You begin to see thought patterns and triggers for what they really are. Fleeting ripples on the surface, not anchors chaining you to chaos. Many of us sabotage our peace through uncontrollable attachment. We cling to life expectations, how people should behave, how outcomes must unfold. When the world deviates from these fantasies, and it always does, we flip out. The real heartbreak isn't that the situation changed, it's that we insisted it remain the same. The moment you release the need for external circumstances to prop up your happiness, you take back your power. Life's going to hurl curveballs, disappointments, betrayals, tragedies. You can't predict or dodge them all, but you can sharpen your ability to remain steady when storms roll in. Detachment doesn't mean numbing out or running away. It means not letting the world's chaos invade your inner sanctuary. That shift transforms you from a perpetual victim of external forces into a resilient force of nature. Here's a bombshell. Pain can be your greatest ally if you allow it. Suffering, heartbreak, failure, these are raw materials for wisdom and character. Like fire cleanses a forest, and pressure turns coal into diamonds. Adversity can refine you if you interpret it as an opportunity rather than a sentence. Many people get stuck, letting pain define them. But those who harness pain as fuel, who ask, "How do I grow from this?" discover that resilience is the bedrock of real peace. Clinging to old narratives, like "I'm always anxious" or "I'm never good enough," is what keeps you imprisoned. The ego clings to familiar labels, even if they're negative. Your past wounds solidify into your identity, and you begin reacting from that script. To find unshakable peace, you must be willing to shed these outdated versions of yourself, stepping into the unknown with open curiosity. That's the ultimate leap of faith. Once you do, you learn that flexibility outperforms rigidity. You grow instead of break under pressure. Here's another secret. Trying to micromanage your life is a losing battle. Control is fragile. Things can and will deviate from your plan. Instead, real peace emerges when you realize you can handle whatever the future brings, come what may. You shift from "I need to ensure everything goes right" to "I will adapt no matter what goes wrong." That mental pivot frees you from the hamster wheel of "what if" anxieties. Your mind's commentary influences everything. If your inner voice is harsh, fearful, or defeatist, you'll forever be at war with yourself. Transform it into a supportive ally. Challenge limiting beliefs. Practice self-compassion. Understand that negative thoughts are mental habits, not facts. By rewriting the narrative in your head, you create the mental soil for peace to flourish. At this point, it should be clear. Peace isn't found through one revelation or guru. It's assembled moment by moment, choice by choice, in how you respond to frustration, how you manage your time, and how you interpret adversity. You can't just wait for external calm. You cultivate it from within, slowly freeing yourself from old reactions and empty illusions. Anyone can feel zen in perfect conditions, but authentic peace stands firm in chaos. When relationships strain, finances wobble, or health crises strike, how do you react? That's the real gauge of your inner transformation. If you treat life's hardships as catalysts for deeper self-knowledge, you're no longer a victim to them. No one else can claim this peace for you. No pep talk, no book, no outer remedy can do the internal work. Are you ready to let go of the illusions you've inherited? Are you prepared to stop letting external events dictate your emotional weather? If so, it begins with a commitment to presence, to stepping back from the mind's frantic narrative, and to reprogramming your inner voice for growth rather than despair. If this resonates, drop a comment below with the phrase, "I choose inner calm," not just as words on a screen, but as an affirmation that you're done letting the outside world rattle you. Subscribe for deeper explorations, because this journey isn't a one-shot epiphany. It's a continuous practice of peeling back layers of old conditioning and rewriting your story on your terms. Remember, it's never about erasing all negative emotions or controlling life's curveballs. It's about embracing life's unpredictability with the quiet confidence that no matter what happens, you'll stand unshaken. That's the paradox of genuine peace. The more you release your grip on controlling the world, the firmer your core becomes. And in that paradox lies your freedom.